The summer's moving fast already, and one thing that's been impossible to ignore is the 2026 World Cup. Everywhere I look, there's another match, another highlight, another discussion around the tournament. At the same time, something else has been happening in the background. More and more crypto projects have started finding their way into major global events like this. Anyway, I've been working with blockchain platforms for well over a decade at this point, and whenever a new system starts gaining traction, I like to spend some time testing it myself rather than relying on whatever people are saying online. So in this video, I'll take a look at one of the official platforms connected to the tournament and show how match predictions can be submitted directly through the system. And before getting into the mechanics behind it, I'd rather start with the actual user experience and see how everything works from the front end. So right here on the homepage, the first thing that needs to be done is connecting a wallet. There are several options available, different wallets, different connection methods, but I'll stick with the one I use most often. All right, connection completed. I can see my wallet address at the top now, which is usually the first sign that everything linked correctly. So from here, the platform opens up the full tournament schedule. All upcoming matches are listed in one place. There are a few filters available to narrow things down, and further below, there's a section showing games that have already been played along with their final scores. Okay, for this walkthrough, I'll open one of the matches that's coming up soon. So this page gives a quick overview of the fixture itself. The teams are displayed here, available prediction options are listed below, and next to each option there's a value that updates based on current activity inside the platform. Scrolling down a bit further, there are additional outcomes available as well, along with the corresponding figures attached to each one. I'll select one of these options and continue from there. Once that's done, I come back to calculation panel. At this stage, I can choose which asset I'd like to use, enter the amount, and the numbers update automatically based on the selection I just made. Everything looks correct so far, so I'll approve the transaction. My request is now being processed by the protocol, and a few seconds later, it's completed. And now my position appears directly inside the dashboard. Once the match is finished, the information connected to this entry updates automatically, and any resulting balance changes are reflected inside my connected wallet. And after that, the same process can be repeated for any of the remaining fixtures on the schedule, simply choosing the next match, selecting a prediction, and tracking the results as the tournament continues. Okay, so after going through everything step by step, the overall design feels fairly straightforward. Most of the important actions happen directly through Wallet, which keeps the process familiar for anyone who's already used Web3 applications before. And honestly, seeing this type of technology around an event like the World Cup feels pretty natural now. Football has become an enormous digital ecosystem over the years, and blockchain infrastructure continues showing up in more places than it did just a few years ago. This app supports several widely used wallets as well, including MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Kraken Wallet, and a number of other common options, which removes a lot of unnecessary setup and makes the entire process easier to navigate from the beginning. So I've spent a long time testing crypto products, and one thing that's changed dramatically is accessibility. Years ago, even simple interactions could feel complicated. Today, most platforms follow familiar standards, which makes the experience much easier to understand even for people who aren't particularly technical. So from what I've seen here, everything feels organized, easy to follow, and simple enough to use without constantly checking documentation or guides. And more broadly, it's another reminder that sports, blockchain technology, and digital services are becoming more connected every year. The World Cup is already bringing together millions of people from around the world, and platforms like this show how that digital layer continues to grow alongside the event itself.